Oh, sorry. Forgot to turn the light on. Oh, man. Cutting it close today. Yeah, I gotta clean my glasses. Oh, I forgot to wash my hands. Shit. Oh. Oh, good gracious. There we go. That was way too many. That was too many. Oh, good gracious. I was in such a rush, I didn't really adjust everything. All right. See if anybody shows up. I said I wasn't going to be doing this today, so a lot of people probably aren't coming. Didn't think I was going to get to do a live stream today because I thought I had a craft fair, but it's usually a 2-day craft fair, but this year they decided to just do 1 day for some reason, so here I am. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Stating. Got back from a craft fair last night, and it was supposed to be a 2-day craft fair, I thought, but it was just a 1 day, so I got here. Hey, thanks for the likes, everybody. We got some stuff to oil up. We got some stuff to stain. If you're new here, don't be afraid to pop a question in the chat. You're wondering what it is, what the hell it is I'm doing over here. All right. So you got some daggers and a rudis, a couple wasters, got a stake and some stabs to stain after those. We got a little hickory dagger to do, and I got a big coffee nut dagger. 2 tongue oil today, and also have another tenarashi. I gotta remember to do that. Oh man, why am I so old? My back is killing me today. I think it's because at the craft fair today I had to sit down all day, and I have not sat down in a chair for most of the day in a long time. Been a few months, I think, since I've had a day where I did nothing but sit in a chair. My back was not happy about it. I'm gonna tongue oil this hickory dagger first, and then tomorrow, when I do my finishing work live tomorrow morning, this will get a cord wrap on the handle. These are already up on the shop, just adding this one to the inventory. All right, I'm gonna go stick this in the drying room. Oh, all right. Why do you feel bad, Earl? How you doing, Earl? Welcome. What's got you feeling bad, my guy? This one is Coffee Nut, which is a new wood I haven't really worked with before. So it said not to over sand it, so I only did it up to like 800 grit. I didn't take it all the way up to 1,000. It says if you over sand it, it has trouble taking oil. So we'll see how this one comes out. I don't know, 800 may have been over sanding. We'll see. This is mostly a display piece. I don't know that Coffee Nut is a super hard wood. It's hard, technically a hard wood, but I don't know. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Hey, thanks, Gage. The handle is insertable. That's funny, Faceless Void. That's hilarious, man. All right, let me go put this in the dry room. Be right back. Son of a bitch. Hang on, you guys. Sorry. I ran into an issue here. There we go. Got it. My shop towel got hung up in the grain on the edge on that thing, and I had to pull it loose and smooth it down. All right, now we got this. This is a zebra wood Tenarashi Tessin. Hey, what's up, Flame? Can you get me? I don't know. Thanks, Matthias. Appreciate that, man. Can you get me, Flame? I have no idea what you mean by that, my guy. If you mean, can you get the stuff that's on here? My link to my shop is in my bio link tree. If you go to the eBay shop, Warrior Wood and Props, should be a link to the eBay shop in my link tree, if that's what you're looking for. I've already got these up on the shop. I was down to one, so I figured I should make another one. These are Tenarashi Tessin Warfan clubs. I make these out of several different kinds of wood. These were used by Japanese samurai. They're still used today by people who do Tessin Jutsu and Koppo Jutsu and Kobudo. I think they use them in traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, thanks, Gage. Yeah, it actually is sharp. That dagger is pretty sharp. Not as sharp as this Rudis I'm getting ready to do. I gotta do this, and then I've got a couple wasters I gotta oil up, and the last one I'll do is the Rudis. Oh, that's okay, Gage. I'm making a lot of different stuff. This right here is a Tenarashi Tessin. It is a practice stick that is meant to be shaped like a closed war fan, a Japanese war fan that was used by samurai. There are some martial arts in Japan that still practice, that still have this as like a throwback to the samurai war fan. They still practice with these. Mostly Kobudo, Tessin Jutsu, and Koppo Jutsu. But I do believe there are some schools of traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu that use them as well. Be right back and put this up. And no Uwara this week, thank goodness. This is the first week in a while that I haven't had any Uwara to do. Can I make spoons? Yes, I can. Actually, I had a craft fair yesterday, and I made about 8 wooden spoons for that, and I sold about half of them, I think. I've got 4 left. I don't make stuff like that very often. I mostly make props and practice weapons, but for the holiday season, I make charcuterie boards and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is a lot. It was a lot. Uh, and that was actually a new thing for me. I hadn't made spoons before. Once I got it figured out, I was able to make them pretty quick. These are my broadsword wasters. This one is white ash. These are mostly used by SCA, Boo Hurt, Armored Combat fighters. I originally used to make they're called Europa style or boken that were they're used in some kenjutsu dojos to mimic European or Western swords. I used to make those, and then I kind of got in with a group of guys that do armored combat, and they wanted wasters, which needed to be bigger and they needed to be stronger, so I started making these broadsword wasters. I also make Viking wasters, gladius wasters, machete wasters, stuff like that. This is probably the last white ash one I'll get to make for a while. Oh, thanks, Marco. Appreciate that, man. I have never made a cup. No. Nah. I've never made a cup. That's not something I've had a chance to make yet. Like I said, mostly I do practice weapons and stuff like that. But white ash is pretty rare here in the U.S. because we have this invasive species called the emerald ash borer. It's a insect that eats ash trees, and I don't work with ash very often, but was able to get some from a vendor that I work with. And I'm running low on it. This is probably the last European waster I'll make. I make a Musashi ore boken as well out of this wood. I'm going to make one more of those, and then that's probably going to be it for the ash stuff. Yes, it is a sword. I have made a bench, Gage. Yes. Yeah, these are just practice swords. These are used by guys in armored combat. In armored combat, they use blunted metal weapons. However, those weapons that they have to use for competition are very expensive. So when they practice, a lot of times they use wasters, which are just wooden replicas of their metal weapons, because these are less expensive and they don't mind as much if these get damaged. Mine are guaranteed, so I get a lot of customers with the Armored Combat SCA and HEMA guys. If you buy a waster or boken from my shop and it breaks when it should not break, I will replace it. Free of charge. You don't have to return the old one. All you have to do is send me a picture and tell me how it broke. So that way I can figure out if it was a design flaw or an issue with the wood grain. And I will just make you another one and send it to you. Yeah, Ashwood makes a lot of good stuff. It's just hard to get these days. All right, I'm going to put this bad boy up. And then I also make this other one. This was one of my standard broadsword wasters. These are just red oak. They're less expensive. Red oak's mostly what I work with when it comes to practice weapons, but every now and then I'll work with something else. Something like right now I've got this stuff called Kummeru wood in my shop. I had an associate of mine gifted a bunch of it to the shop. It is one of the hardest woods in existence. It's got a Janka hardness of 3,700 pound force. Anyway, actually, it's a range of 3,200 to 3,700 pound force. It is very strong stuff. I've made one boken out of that. I haven't decided if I'm going to make wasters or not. It's a very heavy wood, which is nice if you want a practice sword that really mimics the weight of an actual sword. It's great. But if you want something light, maneuverable, it's definitely not a good wood for it. But have I made a fake gun? I've made a prop gun once. That was mostly resin and paint. I've made a prop gun. I don't do firearms very often. It's just not really my shop's focus is mostly on melee weapons. I make a lot of prop melee weapons, but I don't do firearms very often. I probably should look into doing that more, but I don't really get a lot of calls for it. A lot of my props are custom orders, so most people come to me for stuff like knives, swords, prop vampire stakes, stuff like that. Most of my props end up going to cosplayers, and I get a lot of like high schools doing plays and stuff like that. I've had a few things, like I've had some stuff end up in some music videos, mostly just independent bands on YouTube, stuff like that. It would be cool if I made a doll. Yeah, definitely outside my wheelhouse there, London. All right, and this is a Rudis sword. It is a Gladius replica made of wood. Back in the day when a gladiator won their freedom, this was given to them as a symbol of their freedom. I sell these mostly as trophies. I've had people use them as trophies for SCA events, martial arts tournaments, fencing tournaments. I've also had some people that'll buy them for guys that just got out of the military. They'll give it to them as a gift, as a symbol of their freedom getting out of the military. But yeah, I love these. It's made from Purple Heart, which is one of my favorite woods to work with. It sands up beautifully. It takes tung oil really well. And I sanded this one up to 1000 grit, so it is damn near perfect. It'll get a second coat of tung oil tomorrow. Then it'll get a leather handle wrap tomorrow morning. Hopefully I still have that leather wrap that I need for the handles. If I don't, I'll have to order some, but yeah, these are nice. I don't make these very often. When I sell one, I make another one. I don't keep a lot of them in stock. They are not easy to make. They take a long time to shape because I got to get those blade edges even. It takes a long time to do that, and I have to sand it all to hell. I sand this thing up to 1000 grit, and it takes a very long time to make these. So they're expensive, and people don't buy them that often. Excuse me. So I usually only keep one in stock. All right, take it easy, London. Thanks for hanging out with me. All right, folks, let me put this one up, and then we're going to move to the staining. All right, that's all the tung oil stuff, right? Yes, it is. All right, you wipe this bad boy out. If you got any questions about what I'm doing, let me know. And I just got to dry my hands off real quick before I put more gloves on and move on to staining. We're doing a couple Donatello stabs and a little poplar stake that's a cutoff from one of the Donatello stabs. Why would what be expensive? The Gladius? Because I do it by hand, my guy. I don't use a lot of machines in my shop. I use the belt sander to finish it off, but I hand carve all that. That's why it's expensive. It's hand carved and it's made out of Purple Heart. That's why it's expensive. I think right now, I normally I have a sale going on. The usual price for those is $95 to $100. But if you wait till next week, I've got a 15% off sale starting next week for the rest of the holidays for the most part. I think from like November 18th to December 18th, I'm going to have a 15% off sale for the holidays. But the full price for that is $100. But when the sale happens, it'll sell for $85. And I don't charge shipping if you're in the US, so I used to charge shipping, but I found that people don't like to pay shipping, so I just usually add the average cost of shipping to the price, which my customers in California love because they don't have to pay about it. What wood do I use for what? Yeah, I just use Purple Heart because it looks cool, Peter. That's the main reason. What wood do I use? I use all kinds of woods. I use oak, hickory, European beech, white ash, Purple Heart, zebra wood, kumaru, yellow heart, coffee nut, gray elm, orange osage. I mean, you name it. I've got a lot of different woods. One of my day jobs, I have 3 different jobs, but my day job is I work in home renovations in a very affluent part of Florida. And a lot of those people, when they want something replaced, I remove the wood. So I end up with a lot of very expensive woods from that. But I also purchase woods. But I use everything from simple red oak all the way up to in stuff with insane Jenga harnesses like Ipe and Kumaru. Depends on what I'm making and what it needs to be able to do. Like I made an Atasi War Club last week. I made that one out of American hickory because that's native to the United States and was the most commonly used wood for it. Oh yeah, I love European beech. It's not so cheap over here in the States, but I make a lot of stuff out of those. I have a set of Boken that I make out of European beech. And I make tire thumpers out of it. They're great tire thumpers. It's great wood. Well, cedar smells good, Quantum, but it's not so great for weaponry. Cedar. I work with cedar. I'll use it to make like risers, like little platforms people can use in their bathrooms. I use it for shoe racks. I make shoe inserts out of cedar that help with like foot odor in your shoes, stuff like that. Yeah, cedar's great if you're using it for stuff like that, but for weaponry, cedar's not so useful. Oh, sorry to hear that, London. I hope your throat feels better. So I gotta stir this stain up. Always stir your stain. Oh yeah, I bet in Norway it is. I think it probably grows not too far from there in Norway. I know it's pretty common up in Northern Europe. But here in the U.S., it's considered an imported wood. So what I have found the easiest thing for me to do, the way that I usually get my hands on it, is there are blanks that you can buy that they use to make stuff like axe handles and shovel handles. And those are pretty easy to get your hands on, and that you can buy them in bulk, and they're not super expensive. So every year or two, I'll buy a lot of those European beech handle blanks. They work really well for Boken. The only thing that sucks about them is the longest length you can get of those handle blanks is about 35 inches. So sometimes you can get them as long as 37 inches, but it's not usually super long, so it's hard to make, a good normal size 40-inch Boken out of them. Do I like polyurethane? Well, it depends on what I'm using it for. I use polyurethane a lot in my day job for stuff like, sealing furniture and doors and stuff like that. For props, I use it. Like if I paint an item and I need to seal it, I use polyurethane, which is something I'm going to have to actually do here pretty soon. I've got a prop sword that I was making for a high school play that I painted with chrome paint. Unfortunately, someone came in my shop and moved it, and they touched the paint with their hands before I was able to seal it with the polyurethane. And that chrome paint, if you touch it before it's been sealed, the oils in your skin get in it, and it ruins the finish. It makes your fingerprints will come up almost immediately, and so it kind of got ruined, but I think I can fix it. Do I have a shop? Yes, I do. My shop's called Warrior Wood and Props. If you go to my link tree in my bio, you can find a link to it. My main shop's on eBay. I do have a Shopify website. However, I'm trying to get it canceled because Shopify really sucks. So, yeah, I would recommend going to eBay. If you go to eBay, if you don't want to use my Linktree link to my eBay shop, you can also just go to eBay and search for vampire steak. Because I have like the widest selection of vampire steaks online. And so if you look for vampire steak on eBay, my shop comes up pretty quick. Yeah, native but protected. That's kind of how ash is here. It's native, but it's protected. The only way you can harvest ash right now is if it comes down due to like a storm, like if a tree naturally gets felled, then you can harvest it. That's how I got the white ash that I have right now. One of my vendors had a guy. They run a mobile sawmill, and they had a guy who had a huge ash tree on his property that came down in a storm that happened earlier this year, and so he sold them basically the rights to harvest the tree. But, you know, they didn't have a lot of it. They only had what they had from that one tree. I bought as much of it as I could, but I think I've got like 2 or 3 pieces left. Unfortunately, of the 2 or 3 pieces I have left, the grain isn't configured quite right for practice weaponry. So I probably won't be using them to make bouquet or wasters. I might use them to make yawara or palm sticks or smaller stuff. Have I made a snap basket? No, I have not. I have not made a snack basket. No, I like I said, I mostly make props and weaponry. I mean, I mostly make weird shit. Basically, that's the easiest way to explain my shop. You know, I make vampire steaks. I make costume props. I give you an example right now behind the camera, which I can't go and touch it because I've got stain on my hands, but I am making a pair of candy cane vampire steaks right now. They're going to be called Santa Slayer. But they're shaped out, but I got to paint them this week. I'm hoping to get those done in time for Black Friday. Can I make one what? There, Cayman. Hey, Sean, welcome. You gotta have to give me some context there, Cayman. I don't know what we're talking about. Hey, Kimberly, welcome. Oh, a candy cane? Yeah, I'm making a candy cane. Well, it's wood. It's gonna look like a candy cane. It's gonna look like a candy cane vampire steak is what it's gonna look like. I had a customer a couple years ago. He had come to me. He wanted. There was some episode of American Dad where they were fighting Santa and they were using like sharpened candy canes, and he wanted one, so I made one for him. And this year I thought it'd be cool to make a couple of them to sell on the shop. Can I make it right now? No, I can't. My hands are covered in stain. No, I can't make it right now. But I'll tell you what, after I do this, I'll go grab them and show you guys the rough shape. They're shaped out. They just need to be painted. And then I make Donatello Ninja Turtle bow stabs on my shop. I have a lot of Ninja Turtle cosplayers that use them. Mostly guys that use the 1990 costumes from the latex from the original live action film. This particular one fits in the carrier that comes with those costumes, which is why I make this kind. And then I also have a more functional kind that's made out of poplar. You know what I just realized? I used the wrong stain on this. That's all right, though. This one was going on auction anyway because it's got a warp in it. I don't sell warp stuff at full price, so this one's going to get it's going to get put up at a very discounted price on auction on eBay. But if you don't want a warped one, these are already up on the shop. They get a handle wrap in the center of brown paracord. The usual kind of this gets a slightly lighter stain and it gets a dark walnut paracord, but I want to make sure it doesn't get confused with my other ones, so I'm going to make it a slightly different color. London, you have some weird questions, my guy. No, I've never made a crowbar out of wood. I don't know that wood's a great material for crowbars. But no, I've never made a crowbar out of wood. I've made a prop crowbar before out of PVC that I used heat to shape, and then you know, just a jigsaw to cut the prongs into the hook side, and gave it a dark metal paint job. I've done that before. I have not made one out of wood though. No. All right, last one, and this one's my this is the deluxe version of the Donatello staff. This one is a little more functional. It's thicker and longer than the standard one that I use mostly for cosplayers. Oh, sorry, London. My bad. Did I call you a gendered name? That's my bad. Sorry about that. It's hard to tell on here. Oh yeah, Cayman. I make tons of those. I have. If you go on my shop, I have a crap ton of sharp knives made out of wood. I have all kinds. I make knives out of wooden daggers and knives out of all kinds of stuff. I've got everything from functional daggers to assassin stilettos. I've got vampire hunter daggers that have a little bit more of a taper to them. They look cool. They're not super functional, but they look cool. All right, come on. There we go. Ah! There we go. Wooden blade, yes. Yeah, wooden blade. I just actually tongue oiled a few of those probably before you guys got here at the beginning of the live. That was some of the first stuff I tongue oiled were some wooden daggers. I did one out of hickory, and I made a bigger one out of coffee nut. But yeah, I make all sorts of wooden daggers with a wood blade and the whole deal. The functionality of them differs depending on the design. I recently started also making Pahoa daggers, which is a Polynesian design. Those don't have blades on them. They're mostly stabbing weapons. I've made those out of Kumru wood, and they are awesome. Like, those are probably one of the few, like, wood daggers that I make that I'd say you could probably use them multiple times before they broke. Yeah, absolutely. I can show you guys after I finish this. We can do a little show and tell. Let me get this last staff put away and clean up real quick, and then I'll go grab a few to show you. All right. Hang on one sec. Let me get this stain put up. Be right back. Let me go put this away. All right, so real quick before I grab the daggers, I'll show you guys the candy canes. These are the candy cane stakes. They're not painted yet, but there we go. But yeah, these will look cool. I'll give them a white paint job first, most likely. Then I'll tape them over and go over them with the red and give them the red stripe. And then they'll look like very, very lethal candy canes by the time I'm done. I am and am not. I'm super excited for the food as far as Thanksgiving is concerned. The holidays are a little stressful for me this year. I've got the holiday rush for the shop. Then I got to go to Texas in December to spend for like December 18th to 31st. I'm going to spend a couple weeks with my kids in Texas, and then I got to go back to Texas in January because my daughter's getting married. So yeah, those are the candy canes. Hang on, I'll go grab some daggers. I live in Florida. I live on the Gulf Coast of Florida. All right, let me go grab some wooden knives. I'll be right back. I'll grab a few different kinds. All right, you guys. Here we go. So, this is one of the bigger ones. This is I call these these are vampire hunter daggers. These are the bigger ones. This one's 3/4 inch. I have a 1/2 inch ones that are less expensive. Oh, you live in Jacksonville. Cool. Not this year. No hurricanes this year. Thank goodness. We've had hurricanes for like the last 3 years. We've had hurricanes. We had 2 of them last year. My first shop got flooded. Then I moved into this shop, and this shop had the windows blown out during Helene flooded my first shop, and then this shop had the windows blown out by Milton. So I would rather like to have a year without. But this is the Vampire Hunter style. This is one of the longer ones. The longer they are, the more expensive they get because it's very hard to maintain this taper. Doing it by hand. But here's a shorter version of that. This one's hickory, is a 1/2 inch thick. These tend to be more popular. They're less expensive. They're a little easier to handle. I also have a distressed Vampire Hunter version with a jute cord handle. Same one, just with a stain on it and a little bit of distressing to make it look like it's been battle used. But so those are my Vampire Hunter style ones. Then I have the functional design. This is another hickory dagger. This is based off of I want to say Apache fighting knife that they used that was made of wood. It's made of American hickory. Can it kill a deer? I don't know. I've never tried to kill a deer with one. I'll tell you what, buy one and go try to kill a deer. Let me know how it goes. And then these are a lot of fun. These don't have blades. This is a Pahoa dagger. This is common to Hawaii. It's a Polynesian stabbing implement. It's usually made from any kind of a dense, closed tightly closed cell wood, which Kummeru is, and it is badass. Basically has a conical tip, and this was basically a stabbing weapon. There's no blade on it, but this thing's pretty awesome. I've stab tested the first one of these that I made. I tested it, and the tip didn't even take damage. But yeah, these I've just started making these recently. I've been getting a lot of custom orders for Polynesian stuff. I think it's because of that Jason Momoa movie on Netflix about the Hawaiian tribes. And like I've got another one I'm working on right now. Hang on a sec, I'll go grab that. I haven't had a chance to finish this yet. I'm hoping next week I can get this one done. Excuse me. This is going to be a Polynesian style war club. I need to finish this. It's still a little top heavy. It's 4 feet long. I need to finish shaping out this part right here. Because I got to make sure it follows the grain when I shape it. That's the hard part. Then it's going to get a row of tiger shark teeth along this side here and along this flat edge here. It's going to get tiger shark teeth. And it's going to get some engraving on it and a nice wrap on the handle. It's going to be a beast. Thank you. Appreciate that, B7. Imagine I made a burrito, London. I don't make burritos. Definitely don't do that. Yes, I make those as well. You want to see some of my Walking Dead weapons, V7? I do make those. Hang on a sec. I'll give you an example. I don't have any barbed wire bats right now, but I do make custom battle bats, and a lot of my custom battle bats are zombie apocalypse adjacent. I've got one I can show you. Hang on. I'll be right back. This one is already up for sale on the shop right now. I call this one the no-brainer. It is an Axe baseball bat with table saw blades embedded into both sides. I have actually tested this on watermelons. It did pretty well. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had a good time building this. I had a custom order for a guy. He wanted an Axe bat like this as a cosplay prop for the video game Days Gone. And so I did this one as a proof of concept before I made his bat. His bat doesn't have the paint job. His bat's just regular wood. Oh, it's very heavy, Ricardo. Extremely heavy. That club's very heavy. That's one of the reasons I'm going to shape it down a little bit. How big are the teeth? I mean, it's a table saw blade. And I cut the blade in half and turned it so that the teeth point down on both sides, so no matter which side you swing with, the teeth are moving in the direction of the swing. I don't have any guns, London. I don't do firearms very often. Thank you. I mean, technically not a prop. Like, I would definitely not swing this at anyone. This is actual metal. It's functional. A lot of my stuff is functional. I do make props, though. I do make prop versions of things that look scary but aren't. Mostly prop knives and swords. Thanks for that, B7. I appreciate it. I'll be right back, you guys. We go put this away, see if I got one other thing I can show you. So I'm a little obsessed with vampire hunting movies, mostly from like the 70s and 80s. I love those. This is a vampire hunter stake hammer. So you can swing it into the vampire. Oh, thanks, B7. Appreciate that. Yeah, I love that bat. That bat's cool. It's up on the shop right now. It is available for sale. And like I said, if you wait a few days, on November 18th, it's going on sale for 15% off with everything else in my shop. But I have two of these. I have one that's actually more of a cross shape. It's got stakes on both sides. And then I got this one. I call this one the Reaper. It's got kind of a scythe look to it, kind of Grim Reaper vibes. But yeah, it's got a stake tip, paracord handle, and a natural Southern Live Oak staking tip. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. But yeah, I love making weird shit. That's my favorite thing. These, I just made these to see if I could, and I really liked making it. Oh yeah, I Ricardo, believe it or not, I have those. So there's a book series that I read last year called the Mistborn Trilogy. And in that book, they carry what are called dueling canes. It's a cane, but it's also a sword. And so I made a few of those. I think I've got one left. I've got a couple of them, I think. Hang on, I'll go grab one. But yeah, they're not necessarily walking sticks, but they are dueling cane swords. Hang on one second. All the ones I made I've already sold except for these two. This one is white ash. It is more of a rapier design. Very, very narrow, light blade. Very easy to wield. But yeah, that's a dueling cane. And then this one is oak. This one I fashioned after the dueling cane of a guy named Spook Lestiborn. In the Mistborn, see, in the Mistborn series, there's people who can manipulate metal, like telepathically or telekinetically. They can manipulate metal, so people don't use metal weapons; they use wooden ones, and so they have dueling canes. That's what they use, and so I made a bunch of different kinds. Most of them sold except for these two. Well, they exist in the world of Mistborn, Ricardo. I don't know that anybody else. Hey, take it easy, London. Enjoy your Roblox a bit. Oh, I love making, yeah, B7, that is my bag, man. My favorite thing to do in this shop is when someone comes to me with an absolutely insane idea and asks me if I can make it. And a lot of times I have no idea if I can make it, so I do a proof of concept to see if it's even doable. And 99% of the time I manage to pull it off. The weirder, the better. But yeah, I make all kinds of weird shit. That's literally what my shop does. I just make the weird stuff. Take it easy, London. All right, you guys, let me go put these away. I'll be right back. All right, last two things I'll show off for today. This one was originally a custom order. This is the proof of concept for it. The guy wanted like a vampire slayer like stake sword, but he wanted it to look like there were fangs embedded in the side. It's got a rubberized handle, a red tape, just basic handguard looking thing. It's got a stake tip, and these are just steel arrowheads, practice arrowheads that I painted white and embedded into the side. So it's got, you can swing with that and you can stake. And this is one of my prop knives. You want me to say dang it? Dang it! This is one of my prop knives. This is a kukri. Right now I'm working on a proof of concept for a set of Leonardo Ninja Turtle katana for a guy. I have a whole group of guys. They have all. There's all four of them. They have one guy that does Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. I've done the first three. I've done Raphael Sai. I've done Michelangelo nunchucks for them, and I've done Donatello stabs for them. Their poor Leonardo guy's been waiting on a set of Leonardo katana for a while, so I'm trying to get those done. So I could not figure out what kind of plastic to use, so I started with this. This is plastic. It's painted plastic. It's been distressed so that it looks beat up. But the kukri worked, so if I can make a kukri out of it, I can probably make a katana. Oh, thanks, V7. Yeah, during the week, that's what I do. I have another job during the week. I work at Home Renovations. We do like furniture restoration. We do floors, countertops. We refurbish doors, stripping, sanding, and repainting stuff, that kind of thing. That's my day job during the week. I used to be a marketing copywriter up until 3 months ago when AI replaced me. So I decided to just be done with it. So I've been working at Home Renovations now, but on the weekends I run my shop where I make weird shit. Hey, thanks, Dagwood. I appreciate that. So those are my props. But how long we been on? Let's see. Nothing could restore this hairline, my guy. This hairline's gone, my dude. The mohawk doesn't help either. It really, really makes the hairline stick out. That's okay. If it goes back much farther, I'm just going to shave it all off. Don't worry, man. I'm not going to do a comb over, I promise. That's funny. But no. Nothing's bringing back this hairline, dude. This hairline's done for. But you guys, I am about done for today. I got to go home and try to have... Oh, it's all good, Surfer Dude. I appreciate it. Don't worry, man. I'm harder to jostle than that. I appreciate you messing with me. Thanks. But anyway, tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be live for my Sunday Finishing Work Live. That's usually longer than this one. I'm usually on for about 2 or 3 hours. I'll be wrapping the centers of those Donatello stabs. I'll be doing handle wraps on all the daggers that you saw. I think there might be one other thing I'm doing. I got to do that stake, the Rudis sword. I also have a prop sword that I'm probably going to just go ahead and wrap the handle on and sell it for like a very big discount because somebody screwed the paint up. I don't know who did it. Nobody owns up to it. So this was a prop sword for a high school in Connecticut that's doing a play. This was supposed to be a stage sword, but I used chrome paint. And the thing with chrome paint is you cannot touch it. And somebody, I don't know who, well, I was gone, touched it. And so now there's all that in the paint. So I should have polyurethaned it before I left the shop, but I didn't. And so I can't sell it for full price like that. So I will probably just seal it up this week or tomorrow, put a handle wrap on it, and call it good. I'll sell it for like... Hey, my pleasure, B7. Well, I'll probably just wrap the handle on this tomorrow and sell it at a discount on the shop. But this is a stage prop, so it's not really meant to look good on camera. It's mostly meant to look good on stage. The chrome paint's better under stage lights. It reflects better. So we'll see if I get a chance to finish that one tomorrow. I don't know. That's about it for me, guys. I'm gonna call it a day, go home. I gotta order groceries and do laundry and all those wonderful things that come with being an adult that I hate. Hey, take it easy, Dagwood. Like I said, you guys, I'll be on tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're up at that ungodly hour, you can see me finish everything. I'm on every Saturday around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, usually for about 30 minutes to an hour. Oh, Amber, it's okay. He was just messing with me. It's fine. Everybody take a breath. It's going to be okay. Keep it friendly in here, peeps. But thank you. Thank you for coming to my defense, Amber. I appreciate that. But not necessary. He was just being funny. But you guys, I am out. I'll see you guys either next Saturday or tomorrow morning for Sunday finishing work. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care.